Chapter 1448. The heads of the 4 reclusive clans didn't even dare to exchange glances with each other. They were afraid that they would incur the displeasure of the strange meatball on the throne. At that moment, a clear and tender voice came from the blood-colored meatball. The clear and tender voice made one feel as if they had heard the truth. The 4 of you have been developing in the Deep Brahman Federation for so many years, but you have only managed to obtain so few law crystals for me. Moreover, most of the law crystals are just fragments. Tell me, how should I punish you? Upon hearing this, the heads of the 4 great hidden clans kowtowed as if they were pounding garlic with their heads, begging for mercy. Lord Truth, it's not that we didn't work hard. There aren't many myth breed and creation breed phase in the entire Agon continent. Moreover, the experts of the Divine Wood Federation and the Iron Hammer Federation don't like to leave their court. It's not good for us to target experts who build cities outside. Once a large number of experts die in these cities, the Divine Wood Federation and the Iron Hammer Federation will definitely investigate. When that happens, the Divine Wood Federation and the Iron Hammer Federation will find some clues and ban the Deep Brahman Federation's Chambers of Commerce from opening. We will no longer be able to gather wealth for Lord Truth. Just as the 4 reclusive clan heads were explaining themselves, a crack appeared on the huge meatball on the throne. A fair-skinned, silver-haired boy appeared from the opening. The silver-haired Shota's gaze was naive as he sized up the 4 reclusive family heads. However, it was this naive gaze that landed on the 4 family heads. However, it caused a thick layer of goosebumps to appear on the bodies of the 4 reclusive clan heads. Just as the 4 family heads thought they were about to be punished, a voice that sounded like the truth spoke. My sacred source lifeform is the hardest to raise among the 8 pages of the Pagoda Canon. My sacred source lifeform is the hardest to raise among the 8 pages of the Tower Canon. As he spoke, the silver-haired boy touched the back of his neck. There was a palm-sized scar and a crazed look appeared in his eyes. Once my sacred source lifeform reaches 10 stars, I will finally settle the score with the Radiant Moon Empress and the Night Empress. When my sacred source lifeform reaches 10 stars, I will settle the score with the Radiant Moon Empress and the Night Empress. A few days ago there was a strange phenomenon in the sun. The heavenly spirit of the sun has reappeared. It's time to collect the heavenly blessed crystals that I didn't manage to obtain before, once my sacred source lifeform reaches 10 stars. It wasn't the first time the 4 hidden noble family heads had heard of the silver-haired Shota in front of them. It was as if he was talking to himself in a dream. But the more they heard, the more afraid the 4 hidden clan heads became. Suddenly, the 4 reclusive clan heads heard the silver-haired boy's tone turn cold. You guys are too slow in collecting law crystals and world crystals for me. Since the experts of the Divine Wood Federation and the Iron Hammer Federation do not like to leave the royal court, then let the Divine Wood Federation and the Iron Hammer Federation have a war that no expert can stay out of. I will give you 4 months. After 4 months I will wake up again. I want to smell the smoke of war and come to Deep Brahman. Otherwise, you 4 useless people can be my clothes. As he spoke, the silver-haired boy reached out and patted the meatball behind him. The 4 hidden noble family heads hurriedly responded with trembling voices. Lord Truth, we will definitely complete the task you have entrusted to us. It was only when the 4 secluded family heads retreated from the strange tower that they dared to let out a sigh of relief. The 4 hidden noble family heads looked at each other. They understood that Lord Truth was now beginning to put in place the arrangements he had made in the past. In Lord Truth's eyes, all the experts of the Agon continent were goo worms. It was for the sake of raising Lord Truth's lifeform to 10 stars. The Agon continent would be in chaos at this moment. After eating the barbecued meat, Su Yiren came to Lin Yuan's room and specially invited him to chat for a long time. As Su Yiren was helping Lin Yuan with the matters of the Divine Wood Federation. Therefore, in order to complete the task beautifully, Su Yiren had to fully understand Lin Yuan's goals and plans. Through the conversation that night, Su Yiren's view of Lin Yuan kept changing. Looking at Lin Yuan seriously talking about his ideas and goals, Su Yiren had a feeling that a gentleman's words could cover thousands of miles of clouds. From Lin Yuan's words, Su Yiren knew that Lin Yuan had an organization called Sky City in his hands. Sky City was using the sacred source lifeform called the Celestial Body Council to plot against the entire origin world. Su Yiren could not help but have a question in her mind. Was this the bearing of a prodigy from one of the three major states? Su Yiren had never been to the Radiance Federation before, but the former Dark Envoys of the Dark Seven States had visited the Radiance Federation. After the former Dark Envoys returned, they had told Su Yiren about the Radiance Federation. Just the existence of the three Class 5 Creation Masters had made Su Yiren understand. As one of the three major federations, how prosperous was the Radiance Federation? But even if it was prosperous, it was impossible for everyone to have the vision and goal to plot against the entire origin world. One must know that for many geniuses of small federations, it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to walk out of their own federation when they were surrounded by the sea. During their conversation, Su Yiren had mentioned the Radiance Envoy and the Myriad Nations Conference twice. Although Lin Yuan did not give her a definite answer, he did not deny it either time. Su Yiren was certain that Lin Yuan was the current Radiance Envoy. Otherwise, he would compete for the position of the next Radiance Envoy. After analyzing Lin Yuan's situation, Su Yiren felt that the latter was more likely. After all, Lin Yuan was too young at 17 or 18 years old. On the way back, everyone rode on Lin Yuan's phase. Su Yiren was a Class 3 Creation Master and could easily sense that the Black Flood Dragon was a diamond/fantasy breed fae. He already had such strength at the age of 17 or 18. It would not be a problem for him to compete for the Radiance Envoy position in 2 years. When Su Yiren had reached his current strength, she had already been 23 years old. Su Yiren, who understood Lin Yuan's goal, left his room. Lin Yuan had previously consumed the geocentric jade milk and cleansed his body. After cleansing his body, Lin Yuan no longer needed to sleep for 7 or 8 hours every day. He only needed 2 or 3 hours of sleep to maintain his best mental state. Lin Yuan, who was not in a hurry to sleep, went to the Spirit Lock spatial zone and enhanced the walnut trees. That night he upgraded all 5,500-year-old object storage walnut trees to bronze/legend. In the end, he harvested 1,287 pairs of bronze/epic walnuts. Chapter 1449. After putting the matching walnuts in a brocade box, Lin Fan put the walnuts into it. He arrived at the swamp world through Klein Hub. Lin Yuan, who had just arrived in the swamp world, saw Genius commanding 5 spirit craftsmen to help plant walnut trees. A tall, 3-meter-tall humanoid crocodile wearing crocodile armor was digging a hole in the ground with both hands. The 2 Medusa demons watched as the spirit craftsman buried the walnut tree into the pit and filled it with soil. The snake's tail wrapped around the walnut tree from both sides, and it used its strength to break the tree trunk. In an instant, the tree trunk of the grotesque walnut tree was perpendicular to the ground. When Genius sensed Lin Yuan's arrival, it quickly ran over. It gently scuttled along Lin Yuan's leg to his shoulder. Genius, who was on Lin Yuan's shoulder, habitually rubbed its head against Lin Yuan's cheek. Genius spoke to Lin Yuan in a childish voice. Lin Yuan, ever since you had the intention to nurture a walnut tree that could accommodate things smart, let Fatty Orange and the others start stockpiling solutions that can help increase the quality and grade of the object storing walnuts, as well as spirit fluids that can help plant phase bear fruits and accelerate fruit ripening. The spiritual liquid we have now should be enough for more than 200 walnut trees. Lin Yuan stretched out his hand and gently rubbed Genius' little head before replying, "Don't worry. Smart, I have 50 walnut trees that are more than 500 years old. Cultivate the walnut trees that are more than 500 years old. Cultivate them to diamond level as soon as possible and let them bear walnuts. I still have more than 600 300-year-old walnut trees left. I'll let you plant them after I upgrade them to bronze/epic. This way we can maximize the quality of the walnuts they produce after they advance to the diamond rank." Genius nodded. Lin Yuan, Genius feels that we don't have enough manpower to develop the swamp world. We need some people who can do manual labor in the swamp world. Lin Yuan scratched Genius' nose and said, "That's right. Smart. When I return to the Radiance Federation, I'll be able to resolve this matter soon. Soon the number of people in the swamp world will increase." He had previously discussed with Sun Ningxiang about dividing a large piece of land in the swamp world to cultivate all kinds of production-type spirit plants. During this period of time, Sun Ningxiang had been recruiting workers in the Radiance Federation who could live in seclusion. At that time, Lin Yuan could select a portion of these workers to help Genius. In addition, when Class 3 spirit craftsmen built houses, many of the jobs could be done by non-spirit craftsmen. If someone could help these Class 3 spirit craftsmen, their work efficiency would increase. Otherwise, if Genius wanted to plant a walnut tree, he would have to seek help from the Medusa demon and the Class 3 spirit craftsmen. It was such a waste of talent. As for that half-man, half-crocodile creature, it was probably Zhou Xian, the sinful crocodile. An apostle who had used his innate talent to transform into an apostle. These swamp crocodiles that had transformed into humanoid forms had strong bodies and great strength. It was most suitable for him to stay in the territory and do some hard work. Genius took the diamond Fey storage box that contained the walnut tree from Lin Yuan and prepared to continue planting the walnut tree. Just as Genius was about to jump off Lin Yuan's shoulder, Lin Yuan suddenly hugged Genius. Lin Yuan took the snow-necked swan out of the Fey storage box and said to Genius, "Genius, raise this snow-necked swan's grade to diamond tonight." Lin Yuan took the snow-necked swan out of the Fey storage box and said to Genius, "Genius, raise this snow-necked swan's grade to diamond tonight." Zhou Xian needs a flying Fey as a means of transportation, and this snow-necked swan is just right. Upon hearing Lin Yuan's words, Genius immediately agreed. "Lin Yuan, don't worry. Genius has stored plenty of spirit liquids. Genius will raise this snow-necked swan's grade before daybreak." After Genius went to the breeding room to work, Lin Yuan searched around but did not find the slaughter sky butterfly in the territory. Lin Yuan used his spiritual energy to contact the purple firmament and found out that the slaughter sky butterfly and the purple firmament had been searching for swamp soil around the territory. The slaughter sky butterfly found out from the purple firmament that Lin Yuan was looking for it. The slaughter sky butterfly quickly brought the purple firmament back to the territory at full speed. In less than 40 minutes, the slaughter sky butterfly appeared in front of Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan asked the slaughter sky butterfly, which was in front of him, "Slaughter sky butterfly, have you formed a contract with your sacred source life form?" The predator sky butterfly replied, "Lin Yuan, I want to form a contract with the sacred source life form at a later time. The territory is currently lacking swamp soil. A few days ago, the Medusa demons went out to collect swamp soil and encountered danger. One of the Class 7 Medusa demons that went out to look for swamp soil encountered a Class 7 swamp ripple water serpent. The Medusa demons were ambushed by the Class 7 swamp ripple water serpent and eventually perished together with it. Therefore I asked the Medusa demons not to go out to collect swamp soil for now. I informed Bai Yen to build a line of defense in the territory's periphery. This line of defense only allows swamp crocodiles, Medusa demons and Medusa monitor lizards to pass through. I asked Bai Yen to send out subordinates to eliminate dimensional life forms that are Class 7 and above from the outside. Purple firmament and I will collect swamp soil according to the distribution of the swamp crocodiles while clearing dimensional life forms that are Class 7 and above from the inside. I want to deal with these matters first before forming a contract with the sacred source life form. Otherwise, if I form a contract with the sacred source life form now, it will definitely affect the swamp world's development." According to the slaughter sky butterfly's words, Lin Yuan understood that the slaughter sky butterfly did not absorb the sacred source life form for the sake of the swamp world's development. This was the slaughter sky butterfly's kind intentions. Lin Yuan did not ask the slaughter sky butterfly to form a contract with the sacred source life form's marrow as soon as possible. Lin Yuan had to return to the Divine Wood Federation the next morning. Right now, Lin Yuan was very curious about the sacred source life form that would form a contract with the Mother of Bloodbath's marrow. After returning, Lin Yuan had to help Ji Feng form a contract with the sacred source life form. After communicating with the slaughter sky butterfly for a while, Lin Yuan called for Shi Ting, Wendy and Bai Xian. Lin Yuan realized that Shi Ting's growth rate was the fastest. Now Shi Ting had 4 believers and 3 blessings. His cultivation had risen to the type 8 realm. It would not be long before he could advance to Class 9. Shi Ting's strength had risen so quickly because all the Medusa demons had done their best to help Shi Ting lure the Medusa monitor lizards. The Medusa monitor lizards that had been lured over had ultimately become nutrients for Shi Ting to increase his strength. As Wendy had ready-made snake species phase, she relied on the snake phase venom. Wendy's strength had risen to Class 4. At the same time, she had taken in 1 favored believer and 2 believers. Chapter 1450. It hadn't been long since Bai Yen became an apostle, so his cultivation level had only risen by 1 level. Currently, Bai Yan, who was at level 3, had a believer and a favored believer. Lin Yuan knew that the 3 little fellows in front of him had never stopped moving forward. After spending some time with Shi Ting, Wendy, and Bai Xian, Lin Yuan left the swamp world. On the eve of the Radiance 100 sequence, Lin Yuan did not intend to invest any more energy in the swamp world. After the Radiance 100 sequence selection ended, Lin Yuan planned to take Bai Yan to the Myriad Palace in the Marsh East Circle to take a look. He wanted to see if he could exchange for some high-quality source-type items or even sacred source life forms. After leaving the swamp world, he lay on the bed and fell asleep. The next morning, Lin Yuan handed the snow-necked swan, which Genius had upgraded to Diamond X/Legend, to Su Yiren. Then Ji Feng, Xiao Hua, Xiao Chao, and Lu Jie entered the treasure made from the skin and stomach of the treasure cave Golden Cicada. He then stepped into the spatial tunnel and appeared in the Return from Faraway Mansion's underground space. Lin Yuan, who had fallen on his butt, rubbed his messy head. The discomfort of long-distance teleportation was even more painful than when he had drunk the silver stamen gold luster cassia nectar to wash away the impurities in his body. After recovering from his discomfort, he immediately released Lu Jie, Ji Feng, Xiao Hua, and Xiao Chao. As for the dragon-horned black tortoise that had been staying in the treasure cave Golden Toad, Lin Yuan let it continue to stay there. He did not mind exposing the law crystals that contained pure power of law to the dragon-horned black tortoise. However, he did not want the dragon-horned black tortoise to know that he was not from the Deep Lush Federation but the Radiance Federation. Upon seeing Xiao Hua and Xiao Chao looking around curiously, Lin Yuan said to them, "Let's go. Xiao Chao will be at your new home soon. From now on, your big brother Lu Jie will always cook for you. Your big sister Wen Yu will always make new clothes for you. I'll ask big sister Wen Yu to arrange 2 rooms for you. You can tell big sister Wen Yu how you want to decorate the rooms." When Xiao Hua and Xiao Chao heard that, their eyes revealed childish admiration. Xiao Hua and Xiao Chao were born with difficulties. They were the 2 most tragic lives in the Divine Wood Federation. They could only rely on each other and had long since regarded each other as the most important people in their lives. The yin-yang chaotic butterfly allowed Little Flower and Little Grass to experience what it meant to be parted forever. In such a situation, Lin Yuan had not only saved the flowers and grass, but he had also saved their lives. It was equivalent to saving the souls and emotions of Xiao Hua and Xiao Chao. From Lin Yuan and Lu Jie, Xiao Hua and Xiao Chao felt warmth and the feeling of being taken care of. When Lin Yuan said the word family, Xiao Hua and Xiao Chao were sure that this big brother who had saved them treated them as family. Flowery held Xiao Cao's hand tightly, and Xiao Chao clenched her fists tightly. These 2 children from the Divine Wood knew that they finally had a home. After leaving the underground space and returning to the main residence, he saw a huge book flipping rapidly in the room. Faint golden paper flew all over the room. When the golden pieces of paper fluttered in the air, there was still nothing. But by the time it landed, the paper was already filled with neatly written words. Lin Yuan knew that Wen Yu was using the source paper's exclusive skill, the Heaven Listening Mystic Manual. However, Wen Yu's current appearance of the Heaven Listening Mystic Canon was very different from the appearance of the Heaven Listening Mystic Canon in his memory. It seemed that Wen Yu had gone to the Radiant Moon Palace with Mystic Moon's help, and the source paper had undergone a tremendous change. Lin Yuan immediately used Morbius True Data to check the flying source paper. Fey name, source paper, paper flower, Fey species, elemental/paper, Fey grade, diamond 10, Fey type, wood, Fey quality, fantasy V abilities, frowny face, paper dance, turn the body into flying paper pieces. The paper pieces are immune to physical damage, but the effect is doubled when facing elemental damage. The transformed paper pieces have a flashing effect that is triggered once every 3 seconds and can flash 20 kilometers in a general direction. Paper crane packed. Condense paper into a paper crane. The paper crane can deliver specific messages. The paper crane records the aura of the recipient. If the person without the aura of the paper crane receives the paper crane will automatically burn. The paper crane has a flashing effect that is 30 times that of the paper dance. Mental thought letter. The paper piece absorbs the target's blood and forms a temporary contract with the target. The person holding the mental thought letter can communicate with the paper through telepathy. The words in the heart will automatically appear on the paper. and the person holding the mental thought letter can check the words that appear on the paper together. Faceless paper. The paper is attached to the target's face and can change the target's face at will. If the source paper is not destroyed, even if the target is killed, the illusion paper attached to the target's face cannot be destroyed. Paper flower funeral. The paper is folded into a flower. When the flower falls on the target, it will form a mark on the target's body. Even if the target is invisible in a clone or an elemental form, it will be able to sense the target through the paper flower mark. Myriad paper bearer. The paper can be disguised as a human, fae, mountain, city, sea, or even the sky. Under the disguise, the object hidden behind the paper bearer will be in an absolute defense state. Exclusive skill frowny face heaven listening secret manual. The contractor's body will turn into a secret manual. The secret manual will raise the flying paper, and when the secret manual is flipped, any subtle sensations can be recorded on the flying paper. Reality paper. Under the flying paper dance, use soul power to condense a piece of paper that can detect the truth. When asking the target a question, if the target's words are true, the paper will be folded into a paper flower. If the detection is false, the paper will shatter. After checking, Lin Yuan found that the source paper's strength had been raised to Diamond X/Fantasy V. When you was not a spirit chi professional who was good at combat. However, when Yu's current comprehension and equipment had reached the pinnacle of the younger generation. However, compared to the change in the source paper's grade, what really surprised Lin Yuan was the change in the source paper's ability. In Lin Yuan's opinion, the source type item, the source paper, was even comparable to most sacred source life forms in terms of function. Lin Yuan had to admire Wen Yu's source paper. It was simply too powerful. Previously, the source paper's strength was reflected in the collection of information and the confidentiality of information exchanges. Now that the source paper had been promoted to Diamond X/Fantasy V, its ability had been strengthened on the original basis. The newly obtained ability also enriched the source paper's functions. Chapter 1451. The source paper had been promoted from bronze to diamond. The abilities of the normal paper dance and the elite paper crane pact did not seem to have changed much. However, the functions were not the same as before. The effect of the source paper skill, paper dance, was to trigger a flash every 5 seconds. Each time it was triggered, it could flash 3 kilometers away depending on the direction. Now the flash effect would be triggered once every 3 seconds. And it would flash 20 kilometers in a fixed direction. The paper dance was originally Wen Yu's escape and displacement ability. Now, the speed of the paper dance had increased from 36 kilometers per minute to 600 kilometers per minute. This speed was almost 20 times faster than before. This speed could make it easier for Wen Yu to escape when facing danger. When facing some powerful enemies that used elemental attacks, it was often difficult to escape from the elemental attack's range within 3 kilometers. However, 20 kilometers was already a large extent for one to escape from the attack's range. Apart from the escape effect, just in terms of traveling speed. At a speed of 14,400 kilometers per hour, it could almost catch up with some myth-breed flying type phase. It was said that quantitative change produced qualitative change. Source paper's normal skill, paper dance, was a perfect example of this. As for the elite paper crane pact, it completely relied on the normal paper dance's ability. In his opinion, the paper crane pact had similar functions to the messenger pigeon. However, it had more confidentiality effects than the messenger pigeon. The only drawback was that the paper crane's flying speed was too slow. The original paper crane pact's speed was 10 times that of Wen Yu's paper dance. When it was at bronze, Wen Yu's paper dance's speed was 864 kilometers per hour. The paper crane pack's speed was 8,640 kilometers per hour. This speed was already very fast for traveling. However, it was difficult to ensure the timeliness of the message. It was far more convenient to make a phone call. However, when you used the paper crane pact, the speed of the paper crane reached nearly 450,000 kilometers per hour. At this speed, when you wanted to send a message to the Radiance Empire's major cities, even Cloud Pool City, which was the furthest from the royal capital, could be guaranteed to reach within 3 hours. It could be said that with just the paper crane pact, Wen Yu's message delivery speed was already comparable to a top faction like Ostrich Logistics. The effect of the Pact of the Paper Crane skill ensured that any message sent from within the Sky Castle would be absolutely confidential. Through the Paper Crane Pact, when you could give orders to the white-clothed servants everywhere in the Radiant sect at any time. As for the Source Paper's silver ability, Mental Message Letter, it was a divine ability with extraordinary strategic significance in Lin Yuan's opinion. After he went to the Divine Wood Federation, he could not contact the Radiance Federation. This was because a technological product like a mobile phone before the spirit energy revival could not cross the vast ocean. However, with the mental thought letter he could contact Hui Yao through it. He planned to ask Wen Yu if it was difficult to create a mental letter. If it was easy, Wen Yu could create more telepathic letters. Then he gave one to every core member of Sky City. After that, everyone would be able to communicate through telepathic letters. Excluding the effect of the telepathic letter on a force. Under some special circumstances, telepathic letters were also extremely useful. Lin Yuan had heard from his master, the Moon Empress, that the various Federation envoys would compete on the same stage during the Myriad States Conference. During the competition, many aspects of a Federation envoy's team would be comprehensively considered, not just their combat ability. Among them there was a team survival in the wild. At that time, each Federation's envoy could bring 2 members of the Federation Knight Order. Each Federation's 5 envoys would act separately and be teleported to a random location in the wild. At that time, there would be a big chaotic battle involving 1,000 geniuses. To ensure that they would not be besieged and eliminated, the best way was to meet up with their teammates as soon as possible. When used, telepathic letters could perfectly become a bridge for everyone to communicate. It could be said that with this telepathic letters ability alone, Wen Yu was destined to have a place in the Radiance Light Knights. The Source Paper's platinum ability, Faceless Paper, was a disguise ability. Those who were covered by the Faceless Paper would not be dispelled even if they were killed. As long as the Source Paper was not affected, the Faceless Paper would not be removed. This ability could make everyone become one person, and it could also make one person become everyone. If the Faceless Paper was attached to the face of every white-clothed follower. At that time, the Sky City's white-clothed followers would be the same. The white-clothed followers would not know who each other was. Many of the followers who joined the Sky City had families behind them. When the white-clothed followers went out on missions, it was very likely that the enemies of the Sky City would remember their appearance and take revenge afterward. With the Faceless Paper ability, the white-clothed followers did not need to worry about their families behind them when they went out on missions. At the same time, the Faceless Paper could also play a key role when protecting important people in desperate situations. Ordinary disguise phase such as the illusory faceworm would be hit hard in the face by someone. After knowing that she might be chosen to join the Radiant Light Knights, Wen Yu was not happy about her bright future. What really made her happy was that she could stand by Lin Yuan's side in another way. Even in a meeting like the Assembly of 10,000 States, where all the federations of the origin world would participate, the Assembly of 10,000 States would be held. He could fight alongside Lin Yuan and advance and retreat together. Instead of guarding the rear and being a steward of internal affairs. Wen Yu was originally a spirit attendant of the Radiant Moon Palace, but she was almost removed from the list of spirit attendants because she was kind enough to save people. Wen Yu had reflected countless times on whether it was right or wrong to save her friend. Wen Yu had denied her own kindness countless times and her mentality had changed. In the end, Lin Yuan gave himself an answer. Although she did not show it when she first followed Lin Yuan, she had always felt very inferior in her heart. The reason he had been chosen by Lin Yuan's side was to be a creation master's assistant. However, Wen Yu's creation master strength was still at the pinnacle of 2-star. Wen Yu's source-type life form Earth Rush Golden Lotus was raised to Diamond X/Legend by Xianxia. With the Earth Surge Golden Lotus, Wen Yu was currently able to concoct Class 3 spirit liquids with her pinnacle Class 2 creation master abilities. Wen Yu, who was in her early 20s, could only be considered a genius with such a creation master. In a place like the Divine Wood Federation they could even build their own small city. However, such an ability was obviously not enough to stay by Lin Yuan's side. However, Wen Yu, whose strength had transformed, could finally sweep away her previous inferiority complex in front of Lin Yuan. Instead, he used a confident expression to properly assist Lin Yuan. Upon seeing her smile, Lin Yuan and Lu Jia, who were familiar with her, found that her smile was a little different from before. In the past, Wen Yu's smile was very reserved. It was rare for her to be in such high spirits. However, it was undeniable that Wen Yu, who was beaming with joy, did not lose out to Su Yiren at all. "Wen Yu, how is everything in the manor recently?" Upon hearing that, Wen Yu replied softly to Lin Yuan. "Young master, everything is normal here in the manor. Nothing special has happened. It's just that over the past few days the public opinion on Star Web has been getting more and more ferocious. Most of them are discussing young master's two identities. Tian Ningning keeps asking me if I want to control the public opinion. In addition, I've seen Tian Ningning's assistant Zhou Xian. She's very capable. If I have to say a flaw, it's that she is more stubborn and not tactful enough. However, I think young master should appreciate such a stubborn and pragmatic character." Upon hearing Wen Yu's words, Lin Yuan nodded. Lin Yuan was very clear about how turbulent the public opinion on Star Web was. This was because the power of faith in Lin Yuan's soul shrine had been rising rapidly. The one that benefited the most from this was the source water, Blue. Lin Yuan had originally thought that Blue was the fae that he had cheated the most. If Blue wanted to become a fantasy breed, it needed to comprehend a willpower rune in each of the 12 water clusters. The way the water clusters comprehended the willpower rune did not need Lin Yuan to provide it. Instead, they absorbed the characteristics of the strange water. As for the standard for whether the water clusters could absorb the strange water, it depended on the intensity of the power of faith in Blue's body. Now Lin Yuan injected the power of faith in the soul shrine into Blue's body. Among Blue's 12 water clusters, 6 of them could already absorb the strange water and obtain willpower runes from it. Lin Yuan was not in a hurry to let Blue absorb the strange water because he did not have enough top-notch strange water. In another month, Yin Lin would come to the royal capital. Lin Yuan could then obtain a lot of strange water from Yin Lin through the heavenly maiden-grade elemental pearls. At that time it would not be too late to upgrade Blue. According to the current growth rate of the power of faith in the soul shrine, Blue might evolve into a fantasy breed fae before the newly spirit-locked thought soul whale. Lin Yuan didn't have a special understanding of Zhou Man. He had only heard from Tian Ningning that she was a good person. Now that Wen Yu had expressed her approval of Zhou Man must be very outstanding. One must know that Wen Yu was very strict with people and she rarely expressed her approval to others. At that moment, Lin Yuan heard Wen Yu continue speaking. "Young master, the Miao family's beast creation garden has not been quiet recently. Although they have not publicly announced their relationship with you, the Miao family has begun to move against a few veteran factions in the beast creation garden. They seem to want to use the annexation of these veteran factions to expand the existing resources of the beast creation garden. To restore the beast creation garden to its former powerful state." Lin Yuan raised his eyebrows. Chapter 1453. When he was on the phone with Miao Zhenshan, he had said that he wanted to nurture a few more emperor-class experts for the Miao family. Now that the Miao family had an emperor-level powerhouse, they were naturally unwilling to maintain their current situation of being ridiculed by the various forces. The Miao family's beast creation garden was eager to establish its dominance. Those veteran factions without emperor-class experts were naturally the best choice. As for what Wen Yu had said, the Miao family was eager to restore its powerful state. That was obviously impossible. Veteran emperor-class experts and ordinary emperor-class experts were not the same thing. Even if the 7 newly advanced emperor-class experts of the Miao family worked together, they would not be able to defeat Han Tianhe, who had a Class 5 Creation Stage 4 Calamity Earth Core Dragon's Nail, and Lu Yenshan, who had a Class 6 Creation Stage 5 Calamity Ghost Sky Beast. Lu Yenshan and Han Tianhe had to face the siege of 10 newly advanced Emperor-class experts without any preparation. With a certain amount of injuries as the price, there was a high probability that they could counterattack. Moreover, the Miao family's newly advanced Emperor-class experts' creation seed phase had been taken away by Lin Yuan. They could not be treated as ordinary newly advanced Emperor-class experts. But this was good. Those veteran factions would not sit still when they were threatened by the Miao family's beast creation garden. Instead, they would try their best to preserve their factions. The Miao family's beast creation garden was not stupid. In such a situation, they would not provoke the veteran factions that were supported by the top factions. Those veteran factions that did not have the support of the top factions would, in order to survive. They would definitely follow the path of the blissful ocean tribe and seek help from Sky City. This would directly bring two different benefits to Sky City. On the one hand, these veteran factions would seek help from Sky City. On the other hand, Sky City could legitimately harvest the Emperor-class experts sent by the Miao family's Beast Creation Garden and obtain the World Crystal. On the other hand, Sky City would help those veteran factions survive. Those veteran factions would be grateful to Sky City from the bottom of their hearts. After Sky City was done, it could obtain a lot of benefits from these veteran factions. Public opinion on Star Web had always been temporary. The new incident was bound to take away the heat of the old incident. The Miao family's Beast Creation Garden and Sky City would meet again in the Pole Arena, which would undoubtedly bring back the lost heat. This would ignite the conflict between Sky City, the Miao family's Beast Creation Garden, and the Moon Empress disciple. The revival of the heat would allow him to harvest a large amount of power of faith again. Otherwise, when Qin Yu was in the mansion, Lin Yuan was really afraid that Qin Yu would not have any companions and would lose the fun of childhood. When Wen Yu heard this, she took a step forward and stood in front of Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao. He reached out and gently rubbed the soft hair on Flowery and Xiaocao's heads. Lin Yuan had previously mentioned Wen Yu to Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao. She had said that Wen Yu would make nice new clothes for Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao. Both Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao remembered Wen Yu's name. Therefore, when Lin Yuan called out her name, Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao instinctively felt close to her. Wen Yu did not know why Lin Yuan had brought two children back from the Divine Wood Federation this time. However, Lin Yuan had said that the two children Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao were members of the Return from Faraway Manor. Wen Yu simply treated Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao as her own younger brothers and sisters. As usual, when Lin Yuan brought people back and asked Wen Yu to arrange rooms, Wen Yu would immediately take them to choose rooms. However, Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao were obviously a little afraid of strangers. Wen Yu planned to comfort Little Blossom and Xiaoqiao first before taking them upstairs to choose a room. Wen Yu simply took out 2 pieces of honey made from cinnabar sweet osmanthus nectar from the diamond fey storage box on her wrist and handed them to Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao. After Lin Yuan handed Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao to Wen Yu, he said to Jifeng, who was standing beside him, "Jifeng, if you want to form a marrow contract with the sacred source life form, you need to wash away the impurities in your soul. Otherwise, there is a high chance of an accident during the process of forming a marrow contract with the sacred source life form. How about this? After lunch, I will help you form the marrow contract with the sacred source life form." Upon hearing that, Jifeng nodded gratefully at Lin Yuan. Wen Yu brought Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao to sit on the water rhinoceros leather sofa. She watched Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao eat the honey while chatting with them. In just a few words, Wen Yu had eased Xiaohua and Xiaocao's reservations. Lu Jia, on the other hand, headed to the kitchen to prepare a proper lunch. On one hand, it was to welcome Xiaohua and Xiaoqiao. On the other hand, Lu Jia noticed that Lin Yuan's cheeks had obviously become thinner after being out for so long. This made Lu Jia feel that as a retainer he had failed in his duties. In the next few days, Lu Jia was going to do everything he could to make up for Lin Yuan's lost weight. Lin Yuan stepped onto the golden bell spiral staircase and went to the Mother of Bloodbath. He looked at the Mother of Bloodbath's half-surprised and half-depressed expression. Lin Yuan said to the Mother of Bloodbath, "Let's go. Mother of Bloodbath, let's talk about your sacred source life form in the training room." Chapter 1455. Healing-type sacred source life forms may not increase your battle prowess, but they can help you guard the rear. You can even save your teammates' lives at crucial moments. It's not a bad choice. The Mother of Bloodbath activated the sacred source life form hidden in its soul. In an instant, the aura of life around the Mother of Bloodbath surged. A warm and fragrant water vapor spread in front of the Mother of Bloodbath. Then a pond about 4 square meters in size appeared in front of the Mother of Bloodbath. The pond kept emitting hot steam. Due to the lingering mist, Lin Yuan could not see the situation inside the pond. He only knew that the surface of the pond was constantly surging, and it looked like a hot spring. The Mother of Bloodbath pointed to the hot spring that appeared in front of it and said to Lin Yuan, "My sacred source life form can only heal people when they are soaked in it. I didn't have the chance to use it during the battle." While the Mother of Bloodbath was speaking, Lin Yuan had already used Morbius True Data to check the sacred source lifeform that had appeared in front of the Mother of Bloodbath. Sacred source name: All Medicine Hot Spring, Sacred Source Species. Origin Family / Sacred Source Species, Sacred Source Star Grade. 1 star, Sacred Source Type. Life Function Frowny Face Numerology Bath. Absorb each plant phase medicinal properties and incorporate them into the spring water. In order to absorb the medicinal properties, the plant phase integrity and vitality must be guaranteed. The plant phase that had absorbed the medicinal properties would fuse with the myriad medicine hot spring. The various medicinal properties in the hot spring could be mixed together to nourish the creatures bathing in the hot spring. With one look, Lin Yuan could not help but gasp, and a pleasantly surprised expression appeared on his face. The Mother of Bloodbath's sacred source lifeform was called Myriad Medicine Hot Spring. Just like the Grace Queen, she was a sacred source element, a life element. The sacred source lifeform, Sacred Sword-Wielding Queen, was formed by the fusion of the Grace Queen and the Sacred Execution Sword under Morbius Crimson Light. The Mother of Bloodbath's sacred source lifeform Myriad Medicine Hot Spring was definitely not as useless as the Mother of Bloodbath had said. In Lin Yuan's opinion, the Mother of Bloodbath's sacred source lifeform was the Myriad Herbs Spring. It could be called the most powerful healing sacred source lifeform in the world. The first function of the Myriad Drug Hot Spring was the numerology bath. The Myriad Medicine Spring could absorb the medicinal properties of any plant spirit and incorporate them into the spring water. The plant phase that had absorbed the medicinal properties would fuse with the Myriad Medicine Hot Spring. Chapter 1456. While speaking, Lin Yuan took out a few blood-spotted peach blossoms from his amber button-shaped diamond fey storage box. The blood-spotted peach blossoms were an excellent healing type fey. Crushing the blossoming flowers and applying them on the wound could immediately stop the bleeding. Crushing the peach fruits could effectively treat infected blunt force injuries. They were also quite effective against elemental damage. These blood-spotted peach blossoms had been prepared by Wen Yu for Lin Yuan's training supplies. However, Lin Yuan had the jasmine lily. These blood-spotted peach blossoms, which ordinary adventurers treated as treasures, were of no use to him. The 3 blood-spotted peach blossoms that Lin Yuan took out were about 1 meter tall and had pink 5-petaled petals. The large blood spots on the petals made the tiny pink petals look especially gorgeous. Below the petals of the blood-spotted peach blossoms, the embryonic form of a peach fruit could be vaguely seen. When these blooming flowers withered, the peach fruit would grow. Lin Yuan handed the 3 blood-spotted peach blossoms to the Mother of Bloodbath. Mother of Bloodbath, your Myriad Medicine Hot Spring can absorb the medicinal properties of plant phase. Let the Myriad Medicine Hot Spring absorb these blood-spotted peach blossoms first. On one hand, you can see how much the Myriad Medicine Hot Spring needs a plant fey. On the other hand, you can see how long it takes for the Myriad Medicine Hot Spring to absorb a plant fey. The Mother of Bloodbath quickly took the 3 blood-spotted peach blossoms from Lin Yuan. Then he threw one of the blood-stained peach blossoms into the Myriad Medicine Spring, which was filled with mist and seemed to be boiling. After the blood-stained peach blossom entered the Myriad Medicine Spring, the mist above the spring slowly dissipated. This allowed Lin Yuan to see the true appearance of the Myriad Medicine Hot Spring. Lin Yuan saw that this 4 square meter Myriad Medicine Hot Spring was surrounded by jade-like stone walls. The stone walls were engraved with all kinds of flora totems. The entire Myriad Medicine Hot Spring could not be seen at a glance, but the surging spring water was extremely clear. The deeper the hot spring went, the wider the area of the pool wall. This made Lin Yuan feel that the shape of the Myriad Medicine Hot Spring was like a bottomless pot. The blood-spotted peach blossoms that the Mother of Bloodbath threw in were not boiled by the spring water. Instead, the blood-spotted peach blossoms seemed to be nourished by the spring water and emitted a glimmer. Immediately after, the blood-mottled peach blossom's body began to ripple with green vitality. A faint red energy was slowly released from the blood-stained peach blossom. This faint red energy was most likely the medicinal properties of the blood-spot peach blossom. About 5 or 6 minutes passed. Based on this speed, as long as the Myriad Drug Spring did not absorb phase that were silver and above, it was not difficult for it to absorb 24 plant phase in a day. At that moment, Lin Yuan suddenly had an idea. The Golden Lotus Brocade's effect was to promote the release of spiritual ingredients' medicinal properties, thereby increasing the effect of the spiritual ingredients fusion. If he threw the golden lotus brocade into the myriad drug spring and let it absorb the golden lotus brocade's medicinal properties, would it allow the myriad drug spring to absorb the medicinal properties of other plant phase at a faster speed? With this thought in mind, Lin Yuan took out 10 pots of golden lotus brocade and handed them to the Mother of Bloodbath. The Mother of Bloodbath knew the golden lotus brocade's ability. The moment it saw the golden lotus brocade, its eyes lit up. It immediately understood what Lin Yuan was planning. The Mother of Bloodbath kept throwing the golden lotus brocade into the myriad drug spring. The originally pale red spring water slowly rippled with a wave of golden light. On the wall, the pocket-sized golden lotus brocade grew into a golden adult. Lin Yuan took out 10 pots of bronze flower brocade pearls. Although the golden lotus brocade was mutated from the flower brocade pearls, the golden lotus brocade and the flower brocade pearls were two different phases. The golden lotus brocade's effect was dozens of times stronger than the flower brocade pearls. However, the flower brocade pearls had the effect of promoting the release of spiritual ingredients' medicinal properties. Lin Yuan took out the flower brocade pearls to verify his conjecture. On the other hand, it was to let the myriad drug spring obtain more of the ability to accelerate the release of spiritual ingredients' medicinal properties. As expected, the myriad drug spring had just absorbed the golden lotus brocade pearls. Now that the myriad drug spring was absorbing the flower brocade pearls, the time it took to absorb them had obviously shortened. From the original 5 to 6 minutes, it was now exactly 4 minutes. Even though the myriad drug spring was absorbing a plant fey, the increase in speed wasn't obvious. However, if converted to a day, the myriad medicine spring would be able to absorb 36 plant feys instead of 24 per day. Chapter 1457. In a year, the myriad medicine spring could absorb 4,000 more plant feys. It was enough to greatly reduce the time needed for the myriad medicine spring to ascend. It had been more than 2 hours since Lin Yuan and the Mother of Bloodbath arrived at the training room. The Mother of Bloodbath no longer had the original disappointment on its face. The Mother of Bloodbath was excited to feel the myriad medicine spring's improvement. With the existence of Void Shadow Demon and Bai Yen, even if the Mother of Bloodbath had transformed into a favored spirit, it still could not help Lin Yuan much in battle. But now the Mother of Bloodbath had something to look forward to. With the myriad medicine spring, the Mother of Bloodbath could support Lin Yuan without worries. Lin Yuan and the Mother of Bloodbath had worked out the steps to raise the myriad medicine spring's star rating. Next, the Mother of Bloodbath would provide a plant fey to the myriad medicine spring every 40 minutes. Every 40 minutes, the Mother of Bloodbath would provide a plant fey to the myriad medicine spring, so that the myriad medicine spring could raise its star rating with the highest efficiency. When Lin Yuan and the Mother of Bloodbath left the breeding room, it was time for lunch. As soon as they walked down the spiral staircase, Lin Yuan heard children's laughter. Obviously, Xiaohua and Xiao Chao had easily integrated into the daily life of the return from faraway mansion. He could not help but think of Zhou Xian when he heard the laughter of the flowers and grass. Zhou Xian had not returned to the royal capital since she and Cold Moon had gone out to train. It had been almost 2 months since he had been here. However, during these 2 months, Lin Yuan had not stopped contacting Zhou Xian. In addition to going to the Divine Wood Federation, Lin Yuan would call Zhou Xian almost every 2 days. Zhou Xian would return to the royal capital on the eve of the Radiance 100 sequence. At that time, Lin Yuan would be able to meet Zhou Xian in reality. He did not know to what extent Zhou Xi's strength had improved in the past few months. The new fey that Lin Yuan had prepared for Zhou Xian had been upgraded to Bronze X/Legend. It was only waiting for Zhou Xian to contract it. Once Zhou Xian contracted the acne crystal muscle, the Iron Bucket Sister Nurturing Plan 4.0 could officially set sail. While eating, everyone looked at the Mother of Bloodbath curiously. They did not know what had happened between Lin Yuan and the Mother of Bloodbath in the training room. The Mother of Bloodbath had gone up in frustration. Why was it so happy when it came down? Previously, Xiaohua and Xiao Chao had only eaten Lu Jie's roasted meat. Now that they had tasted the delicacies that Lu Jie had meticulously made, Xiaohua and Xiao Chao felt as if they were living in a warm paradise. Xiao Chao was still young, so she didn't think too much. While eating, Xiaohua kept looking at Lin Yuan, Lu Jie, Wen Yu and the others. Chapter 1458. Energy connection abilities had a wide range of uses. For example, Genius Exclusive Skill Interconnection Tail, and When Used Thought Messenger were all energy connection abilities. Genius Exclusive Skill Interconnection Tail used spiritual energy. When Used Thought Messenger used spiritual energy. Ji-Feng used the ring sleeve scorpion puppet sleeve bite. 2 crab pincers with disintegration power extended from the ring sleeve scorpion puppet sleeves and could easily cut off these energy connections. He even used faith possession and blue fusion to enhance Bai Yen through the power of faith. It was also a kind of connection formed by the power of faith, and it could also be cut off by the ring sleeve scorpion puppet. Fortunately, Ji-Feng was his companion. Otherwise, if he were to suddenly encounter such an ability, he might fail miserably in an easy task. Many of the enhancement abilities of support type phase were energy connection abilities. With just the ring sleeve scorpion puppet sleeve bite ability, Ji-Feng could restrain most support type phase. It had the effect of reverse control. As for the ring sleeve scorpion puppet's enhancement ability, it was because of its sleeve attachment state. The ring sleeve scorpion puppet could attach to the target and enhance the target. It would allow the target's every attack to contain the power of disintegration. This ability could attach to any Fey, even sacred source life forms. If the ring sleeve scorpion puppet was attached to a king-class expert's Fey, it might not have much of an effect. However, if the ring sleeve scorpion puppet was enhanced by the world's top experts, such as Her Holiness, the power released by Her Holiness would all contain the power of disintegration. The power of disintegration had a strong destructive effect on defense. The addition of the power of disintegration was enough to raise the Her Holiness combat power to a new level. In any case, Ji-Feng's sacred source life form, the ring sleeve scorpion puppet, was very outstanding. The ring sleeve scorpion puppet's appearance and ability reminded Lin Yuan of the Dark Scorpion Apostle's ability when it used the Holy Art. At that time, the Dark Scorpion Apostle Holy Art's ability was disintegration. The Apostle's totem ability indeed had a fundamental connection with its ability to become a sacred source life form. It could be said that Ji-Feng's contract with the ring sleeve scorpion puppet made Lin Yuan understand the need to go to the Marsh World's Marsh East's Myriad Palace. On the other hand, it made Lin Yuan understand that no sacred source life form could be underestimated. Lin Yuan looked at Ji-Feng, who had opened his eyes and was carefully sizing up the ring sleeve scorpion. Ji-Feng, what spirit materials do you need to upgrade your sacred source life form, the ring sleeve scorpion puppet? Ji-Feng scratched his head worriedly when he heard that. In the future, when you go out, you don't have to hide yourself from the whale ocean trade's eyes and ears. When the time comes, I will introduce Fan Hanxing to you. When you need insect poison, you can directly contact Fan Hanxing. When Ji-Feng heard Lin Yuan's words, he felt a burning passion in his heart. Ji-Feng did not expect Lin Yuan to not only give him a sacred source life form, but also to take care of the increase of his sacred source life form's star grade. Even his previous family could not have done more than Lin Yuan. Just as Ji-Feng's thoughts were churning, Lin Yuan's phone suddenly rang. Lin Yuan picked up the phone and saw that it was Zhongzhe calling him. It just so happened that Lin Yuan had a few diamond face storage boxes with spirit fixation silver to give to Zhongzhe. After picking up the phone, before Lin Yuan could speak, Zhongzhe said, "Ah Yuan. First-hand news. First-hand news. The Class 6 Abyss Dimensional Rift has officially opened, and all the major cities have moved in. If the major factions want to develop the dimensional world, they need to build a stronghold in the Abyss world according to the major city that the faction belongs to." Lin Yuan raised his brows when he heard that. Previously, Lin Yuan had heard from the Stormy Waveguard captain Wang Su that the major cities wanted to build mirror cities in the dimensional world. Now it seemed that even the major cities' factions corresponded to the main world's mirror cities. It was obvious that Lord Cicada Cry was afraid that the major cities would rope in factions and engage in vicious competition. This would affect the balance and development between the major cities, which was why the policy was formulated. Just as Lin Yuan was pondering, Zhongzhe continued speaking on the other end. "Are you interested in going to the Abyss world to take a look at the Class 6 Abyss Dimensional Rift the moment it opens?" Chapter 1459. Upon hearing that, Lin Yuan pondered for a long time before replying. "Big brother Zhong, I won't go to the Abyss world for now. In the next month I want to focus on improving my strength. When I'm done with my things, I'll go to the Abyss world to take a look." When Zhongzhe heard Lin Yuan's reply, he was slightly disappointed. However, Zhongzhe understood that because the Freedom Federation's diplomatic mission was on a diplomatic mission to the Radiance Federation, in the Radiance 100 sequence, Lin Yuan's burden was very heavy. The Abyss world is a huge treasure trove for me. Before the Radiance Envoy selection, I should be training in the Abyss world. Zhongzhe's misfortune had been suppressed by astrologer Zhitan's pollen and could be slowly healed afterward. It had been a while since Zhongzhe had entered his berserk state. However, Zhongzhe's desire to become stronger remained the same. Zhongzhe knew that his strength could only improve further in a year and a half through the battles of blood and fire in the abyss. Upon hearing Zhongzhe's words, Lin Yuan replied with a smile. Big brother Zhong, after I'm done with my work, we might have a chance to train together in the Abyss world in the future. About half of the fixed spirit silver mine I mentioned to you last time has already been mined. Are you in the house in Copper Crane Alley? If it's here, I'll have someone send it to you. Zhongzhe hurriedly replied. Yuan, I'm at Master's place right now. Just get someone to send me to Kitchen Incense Palace. Before the Class 6 Abyss World Dimensional Rift opens, I should be fusing with Master's otherworldly flames. After talking to Zhongzhe, Lin Yuan chatted for a while and hung up the phone. He planned to ask Wenyu to send the Diamond Fey storage boxes containing the Spirit Fixation Silver to the Kitchen Fragrance Palace. He then returned to his room and planned to enhance the plant species phase that could produce weather phenomena that he had traded with the Deep Buddhist Chamber of Commerce. It would also allow Gray to quickly increase its strength. Currently, Gray Ash had absorbed sunny weather, cloudy weather, snowy weather, and windy weather phenomena. The plant phase that Lin Yuan had traded from the Flourishing Prosperity Chamber of Commerce were the Clear Yang Flower, Een Fog Sunflower, Snow Crystal Orchid, Wind Mist Grass, Thunder Cry Chrysanthemum, and Rainbow Jade Hibiscus. Once Gray absorbed the auras produced by these plant phase, it should be able to obtain 2 new abilities. They were skills related to the Thunder Cry Chrysanthemum and skills related to the Rainbow Jade Hibiscus. After entering the Spirit Lock Spatial Zone, Lin Yuan didn't say anything and started to attack these plant phase. Gray, on the other hand, flew around Lin Yuan, using its body to transform into a cloud to surround him from time to time. Every Fae hoped to increase its strength, and Gray, as a favored spirit, was no exception. The appearance of this rainbow seemed to have unknowingly connected the 5 weather phenomena that filled Lin Yuan's surroundings: clear sky, gloomy sky, windy sky, snowy sky, and thunderous sky, into one. It made these 5 non-stop phenomena exceptionally gentle. The 6 weather phenomena in the Spirit Lock Spatial Zone intertwined and shone, making the Spirit Lock Spatial Zone look like a paradise that contained all the natural weather phenomena within. After enhancing these plant phase that could produce weather phenomena, Lin Yuan looked at Gray, which wanted to absorb the weather phenomena but was hesitant about whether it should or not. He said softly, "Gray, feel free to absorb the weather phenomena produced by these plant phase from now on. In the future there will only be more plant phase that can produce weather phenomena. I will strive to fill up 3 parasol wood shelves for you." Upon hearing Lin Yuan's words, Gray pounced into Lin Yuan's arms and bumped into him. After staying in Lin Yuan's arms for a while, Gray turned into a cloud and wrapped around the parasol wood shelves. It was obvious that the weather phenomena released by these 30 or so bronze plant phase were not enough for Gray to absorb. However, this did not delay Gray's exclusive skill, Jade Pact. 2 new jade patterns appeared on Gray's wings. Lin Yuan immediately used Morbius True Data to check on Gray. At a glance, Lin Yuan realized that Gray had indeed gained 2 new abilities on top of its original foundation. Chapter 1460. Fey Name: Heaven Cloud Crane, Fey Species, Feathered Crane Species / Red Crane Species, Fey Grade, Bronze 5/10, Fey Type, Nature Fey Quality, Elite Abilities: Frowny Face Weather Cloud Transformation. The main body appears in the form of clouds and mist all day long. When the main body appears in the form of clouds and mist, it is full of affinity with any natural weather. It can absorb weather through the body and condense the weather into the clouds and mist. Every weather absorbed will generate a new ability, and it will not generate abilities after a long time of advancement. Clear weather's brilliance. Omitted, cloudy weather's shadow. Omitted, snowy weather's freeze. Omitted, windy weather's roar. Omitted, thunder weather's judgment. The cloud-covered area will change the original weather into cloudy weather. At the same time, all living beings within the range will be covered with the Thunder Weather mark. When friendly targets release Thunder attribute abilities in the Thunder Weather mark, the lethality will be increased, while enemy targets will suffer a series of negative effects such as paralysis and lightning strikes. Rainbow Weather's fusion. The cloud-covered weather will change the original weather into rainbow weather. The rainbow weather can promote the fusion of other weather conditions within the range, allowing different weather conditions to coexist in a fusion manner. Exclusive skill Frowny Face Precious Jade's Promise. Each absorbed weather condition will be condensed into a special type of precious jade. The precious jade will form a specific precious jade pattern that will grow on the feathers. After the weather condition is condensed into a precious jade pattern, the clouds will no longer contain the weather condition. When the precious jade pattern is activated, each weather condition will turn into a specific precious jade beast. Gray's two new abilities were Thunder Weather's Judgment and Rainbow Weather's Fusion. The Thunder Weather's Judgment was similar to the abilities that Gray had previously obtained: Clear Weather's Brilliance, Cloudy Weather's Shadow, Snowy Weather's Freeze, and Windy Weather's Roar. They all changed the cloud-covered weather to enhance one's target and restrict other targets. The Thunder Weather's Judgment could inflict paralysis, lightning strikes, and a series of negative effects on local targets. This meant that the Thunder Weather's Judgment was a strong control-type ability. Compared to the other abilities, the Rainbow Weather's Fusion that Gray had obtained after absorbing the rainbow weather released by the Rainbow Jade Hibiscus was much more special. The Rainbow Weather's Fusion could not restrict the enemy or enhance one's own. However, it could fuse other weather skills together, allowing multiple weather phenomena to exist in the clouds at the same time. Previously, Lin Yuan had brought Gray with him to test it out. He couldn't use bright light on sunny days and gray shadow on cloudy days at the same time. If you were in the same area, you could use bright light on a sunny day and shadow on a cloudy day at the same time. In that case, these two skills would restrict and cancel each other out. Since the Rainbow Sky Fusion could fuse the weather together, Lin Yuan immediately issued an order to Gray, which was absorbing the weather. Gray, now cast Clear Skies Brilliant Light, Cloudy Skies Shadow, and Rainbow Skies Fusion at the same time in the area above me. Try to combine the bright light of a sunny day and the dark shadow of a cloudy day. Upon hearing Lin Yuan's command, Gray flapped its wings and flew away. Clouds gathered above Lin Yuan's head. Immediately after, Gray cast Sunny Day's Brilliance. Lin Yuan felt as though he was under the warm sun. However, when Gray cast Cloudy Skies Shadow, a portion of the clouds turned grayish-black. All of a sudden, most of the warm sunlight was blocked. Just as the two phenomena cancelled each other out, a rainbow flashed between the clear and the dark. This rainbow was like a bridge that separated the clear and dark areas so that the clear and dark areas would not invade each other. Rainbow used the method of division to fuse the two types of phenomena together in an area. It was a wonderful feeling to enjoy the two phenomena under the same sky. Through his communication with Gray, Lin Yuan understood that Gray could use the Rainbow Sky Fusion. Fusing the two phenomena would cause its own spirit chi consumption to increase. Previously, Gray could use the Rainbow Sky Fusion to fuse the two phenomena together. But now, Gray could use the Rainbow Sky Fusion to fuse the two phenomena together. Gray could only hold on for half an hour. Calculating it, it was equivalent to doubling the spirit chi consumption. After understanding this, Lin Yuan continued to try. He asked Gray to use the Rainbow Sky Fusion to fuse the wind's roar, snow's freeze, and thunder's judgment into the weather above his head. Gray let out a clear cry. Immediately after, the cloudy part of Lin Yuan's head began to snow, and lightning flashed in the clouds. On the sunny side, there was a gust of wind that caused the clouds to tremble. Seeing this, Lin Yuan thought to himself, "It seems that the fusion of the various phenomena uses the sunny and cloudy weather as the carrier." In the small space above his head, Gray could use the 5 elements, light, dark, wind, ice and thunder, to enhance itself. Could use these 5 elements to suppress the enemy. However, if Gray used the Rainbow Sky Fusion to fuse the 5 phenomena at the same time, it could only last for less than 5 minutes. But this was already shocking enough. One must know that Gray's current rank was only bronze level 5, which was of excellent quality. When Gray's grade and quality increased, the duration of the ability would continue to increase. Chapter 1461. The wind's roar corresponded to the irregularly shaped white jadeite pattern. Gray could summon an elemental horse-shaped fae with a stream of air wrapped around its body. At that moment, a bright yellow elemental snake fae with lightning arcs crawled out of Gray's spiked olivine pattern. Just as Lin Yuan was wondering why Gray hadn't summoned the treasured jade beast in the arc-shaped rainbow tourmaline pattern, Lin Yuan heard Gray's childish voice. Lin Yuan, help Gray replenish some spirit chi. Otherwise, Gray will not be able to activate the jade pattern obtained from the rainbow sky. Lin Yuan felt a little strange when he heard that. Although Gray's fusion skill consumed a lot of spiritual energy, Gray only lasted for a minute during the process. This meant that Gray still had at least 4/5 of its spirit chi left. Gray did not consume much spirit chi to summon this elemental snake fae from the rainbow sky's jade pattern. Could it be that the elemental fae summoned by the rainbow sky's jade pattern was as special as the rainbow sky's fusion? Lin Yuan raised his hand and released a spirit injection on Gray. Gray's spirit chi was replenished in an instant. Once Gray consumed its spirit chi, Lin Yuan's spirit injection would continuously replenish Gray's spirit chi for 2 hours. After replenishing its spirit chi, Gray let out another clear cry. The 5 jade beasts were summoned by Gray, each with a different posture. Then the curved rainbow tourmaline on Gray's body emitted a gentle rainbow light. Under the rainbow light, the 5 treasured jade beasts fused together. Finally, they became an elemental crane fae with 5 colors. The moment he saw this elemental crane fae, Lin Yuan raised his eyebrows. This elemental crane-shaped fae's appearance was exactly the same as Gray's before it obtained the cloud transformation ability. Lin Yuan had originally thought that Gray was a favored spirit that focused on support and control. However, it seemed that was not the case at all. Under the rainbow sky's jade pattern, the elemental crane fae that was formed by the 5 treasured jade beasts contained 5 types of elemental energy and was extremely aggressive. Lin Yuan planned to test the power of Gray's move. Lin Yuan gestured to the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope and said, "Let's go. Wind Speed Rapid Antelope, take this move from Hui Hui. Let's see if Hui Hui's attack can make you take a step back." The Wind Speed Rapid Antelope was now a Gold X/Legend fae. Since Lin Yuan had been feeding the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope the Heavenly Maiden Grade Elemental Pearls for a long time, it had built an excellent foundation for the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope. After consuming the Heavenly Maiden Grade Elemental Pearl Powder, the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope's fur turned from khaki to white. The degenerated antlers showed signs of growing again. It was obvious that the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope's bloodline had mutated. It could be said that the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope was standing at the ceiling of Gold phase, just below Fantasy breeds. Upon hearing Lin Yuan's command, the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope did not take the initiative to attack the elemental crane-type fae that Gray had summoned. Instead, he raised his head and weaved layers of fine wind nets in front of him. Gray and the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope were good friends and they often played together. Gray knew that the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope was telling it to attack. Gray immediately commanded the 5 types of jade beasts to form an elemental crane-type fae to attack the wind wall. A 5-colored glow shot out from the crane-type elemental fae and shot straight at the wind net released by the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope. When Lin Yuan sensed Gray's attack, he frowned and thought, not good. Lin Yuan hurriedly shook his hand, and the source sand, which had transformed into a cufflink, revealed its true form. A large number of guard sand quickly blocked in front of the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope's wind net. Immediately after, a violent explosion echoed on the sand wall. It might not have blasted a large hole in the sand wall, but it did not threaten the wind net behind the sand wall. However, it still blasted a very obvious dent in the sand wall. Lin Yuan's source sand was a diamond/fantasy breed elemental source type life form. In fact, it was not because of how powerful Gray's attack was, but because the 5 types of elements were mixed together due to the rainbow weather. When separated from the rainbow weather, the 5 types of elements would instantly repel each other, resulting in an explosion. This was a kind of multi-attribute elemental explosion ability. Even if this elemental explosion exploded on the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope's body, it would not kill it. However, it would definitely severely injure the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope. He had raised this little fellow for so long, and it was also the capable manager of the Spirit Lock spatial zone. Lin Yuan could not bear for the Wind Speed Rapid Antelope to be injured. The wind-speed rapid antelope and gray were still in a daze and did not understand the situation. However, Lin Yuan, who felt the explosion's power, was already somewhat shocked and speechless. Was this the strength of a favored spirit? With a bronze body, it had launched an attack above gold. Although the strength of this attack came from the elemental explosion, as Gray absorbed more and more aura, the explosion's power would only increase. As the types of elements increased, the purity of the aura would increase, and the explosion's power would only increase. When Gray became a myth breed, it would probably have the capital to contend with a creation breed Fae. After enhancing Gray, Lin Yuan left the Spirit Lock spatial zone. After dinner, Lin Yuan logged on to the star web. There was no news of the Abyss Dimensional Rift opening on the star web yet. The star web was still full of public opinion regarding Sky City and the Moon Empress disciple. However, when the news of the Abyss Dimensional Rift opening was made public, all the public opinion on the star web would be suppressed in an instant. This was because the opening of the Abyss world would be a new process for the entire Radiance. Lin Yuan had not logged in as the combat class Spirit Chi Professional Black for a long time. Ever since Lin Yuan's virtual influence was established in the Celestial Stairway Hall of Fame. Lin Yuan did not need to participate in a Celestial Stairway duel every month to ensure his star rank. This caused Lin Yuan's black identity to make smaller splashes on the star web. Although the official fan club and forum were still there, they were no longer as active as in the past. This time, Lin Yuan still did not log in as the combat class Spirit Chi Professional Black. Instead, he logged into his original identity. However, due to being busy during this period, Lin Yuan's original identity had not logged into the star web for a long time. As a result, there were many unread messages in Lin Yuan's message bar. Lin Yuan's star web account was open, but he did not add many friends. The number of friends did not exceed 10. Among Lin Yuan's friend messages, there was actually someone who had sent him more than 20 messages. Lin Yuan could not help but be surprised. This was because people who really had something to look for him usually had his contact information. There was no need to contact him through the star web. Lin Yuan took a look and found that the person who contacted him was an old acquaintance, Zhou Xian. Chapter 1462. Zhou Xian, are you there? I want to discuss the store with you. Zhou Xian, it's urgent. If I have time, I want to ask for your opinion. Zhou Xian, I don't think I can run the store anymore. The store is priced at 240,000 radiance dollars. I've transferred 750,000 radiance dollars to you according to the shares. Zhou Xian, thank you for taking care of me during this time. Zhou Xian, as for the unsold goods you provided, I'll let Ostrich Logistics send them to you after I sell the store the day after tomorrow. I'll also send them to the address I mailed the goods to last time. Zhou Xian's first message was already 9 days ago. The new message was only sent an hour ago. Through Zhou Xian's message, Lin Yuan could be sure that she must have encountered trouble. This trouble was not small for Zhou Xian. Otherwise, given Lin Yuan's understanding of Zhou Xian, she would not sell the store no matter what. Lin Yuan's first star web shopping was at Zhou Xian's store. In the beginning, Zhou Xian had taken care of him a lot. If not for Zhou Xian's extra care, Lin Yuan would have missed the fate with the wind-speed rapid antelope, the cinnabar sweet osmanthus, and the cinnabar osmanthus haworthia. The wind-speed rapid antelope had become his spirit lock spatial zone's little butler. The cinnabar sweet osmanthus had attracted a top-notch auspicious sign, the salivating auspicious swallow. The fruits of the cinnabar osmanthus had increased his spiritual energy. It could be said that Zhou Xian's help had allowed Lin Yuan to seize many opportunities. Lin Yuan had been helping Zhou Xian afterward by providing her with materials. As early as a few months ago, Zhou Xian's 3-star store had been promoted to a 5-star store. Due to the excellent quality of the spiritual ingredients and phase sold. Among the group of 5-star stores, Zhou Xian's store still had a good reputation. Previously in the Purchase with No Loss Stores fan club, Zhou Xian had shared a lot about the store. The Purchase with No Loss Stores fan club was now filled with big shots. Among these big shots, more than half were creation masters. In addition, there were many faction members who squatted to snatch the heavenly maiden grade elemental pearls every night. This made Zhou Xian and those who had joined the Purchase with No Loss Stores fan club more and more speechless. The violent-tempered and Buddha-tempered people had not appeared in the fan club for a long time. However, it was said that the violent-tempered woman had come to Zhou Xian's shop to help. He also lent some money to Zhou Xian's shop and took some shares. He could be regarded as a small shareholder of the shop. Speaking of Lin Yuan, he was also a shareholder of Zhou Xian's store. However, compared to the violent-tempered woman who only had a few shares, Lin Yuan had a lot more shares. For the past few days, Ning Yanting had been searching for the main dragon species phase essence blood and was physically and mentally exhausted. Ever since Ning Yanting became a Class 4 creation master, he had been working hard to awaken his spiral-toothed shark's bloodline. During this process, Ning Yanting had spent countless resources. As a result, even though Ning Yanting was a Class 4 creation master, he was still empty-handed. Ning Yanting originally thought that after that ferocious strike, the spiral-toothed shark's bloodline would undergo ancestral awakening. However, the reality gave Ning Yanting a ruthless slap. If Ning Yanting wanted to protect the spiral-toothed shark, the best way was to let the spiral-toothed shark obtain a new bloodline. This could be said to be the path that Ning Yanting didn't want to take. If he wanted to take this path, Ning Yanting's spiral-toothed shark would have long evolved into the spiral-toothed shark. Ning Yanting could find ordinary spiritual materials, but the main dragon species phase essence blood was truly difficult for him. If it was just blood, Ning Yanting could look for experts with the main dragon species bloodline to ask for a few drops. Without resources, at most he would owe some favors and slowly return them in the future. However, for dragon species phase, essence blood was considered the entire body's essence. The higher the dragon species phase grade, the lesser the amount of essence blood that could be condensed. A main dragon species Fae could only condense 5 or 6 drops of essence blood at most. As a contractor, Ning Yanting truly couldn't watch his Fae die because of his stubbornness. Therefore Ning Yanting thought of Lin Yuan. Chapter 1463. Only Lin Yuan, the Moon Empress disciple, would be able to obtain a rare item like the main dragon species Fae essence blood. When Ning Yanting sent a message to Lin Yuan for help, his face was flushed red. 3 days after Ning Yanting sent the message, there was still no response from Lin Yuan. This made Ning Yanting feel somewhat bitter in his heart. Just as Ning Yanting was about to accept reality, Lin Yuan called. Ning Yanting was momentarily at a loss for words. Moreover, he had solved his problem as soon as he opened his mouth. He didn't know what to say. Saying thank you makes it seem weak. If it was anything else, Ning Yanting would not be able to afford the main dragon species phase essence blood. Lin Yuan, who had keenly sensed Ning Yanting's state, changed the topic. If Elder Ning has any other needs, please don't hesitate to ask this Junior. Junior has done Senior a favor, and it just so happens that Junior has a matter that I would like to ask Senior for a favor. When she heard Lin Yuan's words and how he addressed her as Senior, she felt a chill run down her spine. Ning Yanting felt as if he had suddenly seen the young man who had been scribbling away during the exam. Even though that youth had become the Moon Empress disciple, he was still as humble as before. Your Highness, if there's anything you need this old man's help with, just let me know. When he had just entered the Spirit Lock spatial zone, Chimey had been urging him. He wanted to spend the money in the Warm Sun Fund as soon as possible to carry out the Warm Sun plan. Lin Yuan and Sun Ningxiang had previously discussed how to implement the Warm Sun plan. Other than improving its strength every day, Chimey was thinking of holding fan meetings. The rest of the time was spent on live streaming and donating to the Nuanyang Foundation. Lin Yuan didn't want to disappoint Chimey. Lin Yuan had come from a small place like Redbud City's Xia region. Lin Yuan understood the situation in the Xia region and Redbud City the best. Therefore he planned to use Redbud City's Xia region as the starting point for Project Warm Sun and spread it to the entire Redbud City. Finally, it spread throughout the entire Radiance. In order to ensure that there were no loopholes in the Nuanyang plan, they needed someone like Elder Ning who had an official background to oversee it. After explaining his intentions to Elder Ning, Lin Yuan hung up the phone. He sent a drop of essence blood that he had extracted from the main dragon phase liver that the Moon Empress had given him and sent it to Elder Ning. Ning Yanting was left alone beside the spiral-toothed shark. His blood was boiling. This young man who had just left the Xia region for less than a year, was already thinking of returning to his hometown? What kind of pure and innocent heart was this? If this young man treated his hometown like this, What would he do to the entire Huiyao sect? With this doubt, Lin Yuan asked Zhou Xian. Big Sister Xen, were those 3 Class 2 creation masters also forced away by this veteran rising faction? Zhou Xian quickly shook her head and said. This veteran rising faction has been eyeing our store for a long time. It didn't make such an unreasonable request because it cared about the 3 Class 2 creation masters' reputation. However, I didn't expect that one of the top 3 factions, the Whale Ocean Trade, would be gathering a large number of creation masters and wouldn't limit their star ranks. The creation masters who participate in the experiment will be nurtured by the Whale Ocean Trade. It is because of this information that the 3 Class 2 creation masters in the store left. Lin Yuan originally wanted to help Zhou Xian with a small favor, but he didn't expect to hear such news. The Whale Ocean Trade again. It was related to creation masters again. Through Ji Feng, Lin Yuan understood that the Whale Ocean Trade needed creation masters, not the creation masters' talents. Instead, it was the creation masters' lives and bodies. If the Whale Ocean Trade really released such news, who knew how many creation masters would be attracted to the Whale Ocean Trade? If these creation masters were secretly harmed by the Whale Ocean Trade, it would undoubtedly be the same as cutting off the Radiance creation master's potential. However, Lin Yuan couldn't understand one thing. Even if the Whale Ocean Trade really had the guts to use the creation master's lives and bodies to do some dirty things, even if it succeeded, the High Lords would find out and pursue the matter. How could the Whale Ocean Trade escape the calamity of extinction? Lin Yuan was originally planning to find time to bring Bai Yinye to explore the Whale Ocean Trade's old mansion. However, it was one thing if he could explore the old mansion at night without being discovered by the Whale Ocean Trade's experts. It was another thing if he could find out something fishy about the Whale Ocean Trade. Chapter 1464. Even if he had the ability to not be detected by the Whale Ocean Trade's experts, it would be very difficult for him to discover the Whale Ocean Trade's conspiracy just by spying at night. However, there was a ready-made opportunity. He would then be able to openly participate in the Whale Ocean Trade's recruitment as a Class 2 creation master. At that time, the Whale Ocean Trading Company would reveal its hidden scheme to him. At that time, he would undoubtedly know clearly what the Whale Ocean Trade was planning. With that in mind, Lin Yuan said to Zhou Xian, Sister Xen, if you want to continue operating this 5-star shop, I have a way. I can help you contact a peak power, do Immortal Garden, and let you work with them directly. This way, even if that old rising force had 10 guts, they wouldn't dare to do anything to your shop. Lin Yuan paused for a moment before continuing. Sister Xen, I'm very interested in the experiment mentioned by the Whale Ocean Trade. I wonder what specific information Sister Xen has obtained. He had learned about the Whale Ocean Trade from Zhou Xian. This was something that Wen Yu had not told him before. He had told Wen Yu to pay attention to news of the Whale Ocean Trade. Wen Yu agreed. Therefore, if Wen Yu knew about this, it was impossible for her not to tell him. The only reason why Wen Yu did not tell him was that Wen Yu did not know about this matter. It was no wonder that Sky City did not have an intelligence department at the moment. All the information she knew about the Whale Ocean Trade came from the Radiant Moon Palace and the Hidden Moon Pavilion. The news of the Hidden Moon Pavilion was not updated every day. Instead, the information would only be gathered every once in a while. Through this matter, Lin Yuan felt that his Sky City should start to establish its own information channel. It wasn't like such a situation where the top factions recruited creation masters for experiments had never happened before. Therefore, this kind of thing would not attract too much attention from the Hidden Moon Pavilion. However, after learning about the Whale Ocean Trade's myriad flag's true face through Ji Feng, Lin Yuan was certain. The Whale Ocean Trade was recruiting a large number of creation masters and wasn't even limiting the creation master's star class. He had to make a big move. When Zhou Xian heard Lin Yuan's words, she was delighted and shocked at the same time. When Zhou Xian had first seen Lin Yuan, she had only treated him as a cheerful youth. He used federal dollars to buy things which seemed to be very frugal. Lin Yuan even wanted to buy inferior energy ores, which made Zhou Jia think that Lin Yuan's financial situation was not good. However, it did not take long for him to start spending radiance dollars in his store. He had even set up his own Star Web store. In order to support Lin Yuan, Zhou Xian had even specially visited his Star Web store. However, Zhou Xian didn't expect that Lin Yuan's store was actually selling bronze usnias. It was a good item that would be fought over once it was placed on the shelves. Zhou Xian, who originally wanted to support him, ended up waiting for Lin Yuan's usnias to be placed on the shelves. After that, Zhou Xian was certain that there was a creation master behind Lin Yuan. Later on, Lin Yuan became a shareholder of the store and regularly provided the store with silver usnias. Zhou Xian was even more convinced of this. But then Lin Yuan's style became a little incomprehensible to Zhou Xian. A large number of bigwigs suddenly swarmed into the Purchase with No Loss Stores fan club. Lin Yuan even publicly auctioned the flower brocade pearls in the group. The flower brocade pearls were fays that even creation masters would fight to collect. Any one of them could be auctioned in the rare lifeform pavilion for hundreds of thousands of radiance dollars. However, Lin Yuan actually had dozens or even hundreds of such items on the shelves in his store. Later on, during the All-Star match, Lin Yuan was a lucky spectator. He actually defeated the Barbarian Snake Club's main member, Meng Su. It was then that Zhou Xian realized that the youth that she had treated as a younger brother was actually a hidden genius. Zhou Xian felt that she was not worthy of such a Lin Yuan. Therefore, Zhou Xian had never taken the initiative to contact Lin Yuan after understanding his identity. Later on, the Purchase with No Loss store auctioned the Heavenly Maiden Grade Elemental Pearls. To Zhou Xian, the flower brocade pearls were things that she couldn't afford even if she went bankrupt. Therefore, Zhou Xian didn't have a special concept of the Heavenly Maiden Grade Elemental Pearls. After all, resources like the Heavenly Maiden Grade Elemental Pearls wouldn't be auctioned in the rare lifeform pavilion. Such a good item would never appear in private auctions below the Emperor level. Although Zhou Xian knew that Heavenly Maiden Grade Elemental Pearls were very expensive, she had never had a clear idea about Lin Yuan. It was only then that Zhou Xian realized Lin Yuan's words. To think that he could pull a relationship with a top faction for his little 5-star shop. What kind of energy was this? If his Star Web store really had the protection of a pinnacle faction, the Dew Immortal Garden, then he would definitely be able to protect it. Once the old and rising power found out about this, they would definitely hide far away and not dare to have any ideas about his shop. He was even worried that he would settle scores with him later on. This made Zhou Xian very happy. No matter what, the store that he had poured his heart, soul into had been saved. However, Zhou Xian was not very clear about Lin Yuan's question. Suddenly, Zhou Xian's eyes lit up and she said to Lin Yuan, let's go. In a while, a Class 2 creation master should be coming to settle the wages. When he comes, we'll ask him together and we'll know. Upon hearing Zhou Xian's words, Lin Yuan nodded. As Zhou Xian's shop was having a discount, there were abnormally many people. The violent-tempered woman and the 5 employees were too busy. Lin Yuan had the experience of opening a shop and entertaining customers. While waiting for the Class 2 creation master, Lin Yuan even helped Zhou Xian receive a few customers. Soon enough, the Class 2 creation master arrived at Zhou Xian's shop. The Class 2 creation master had a rather arrogant expression, but he was rather friendly to Zhou Xian. It was obvious that he had a good relationship with Zhou Xian. Zhou Xian reached out to pat on Lin Yuan's shoulder and spoke to the Class 2 creation master. Lord Fei, my brother. My partner would like to ask you about the Whale Ocean Trading's recruitment for an experiment. When the Class 2 creation master with the surname Fei heard Zhou Xian's words, he glanced at Lin Yuan and said, The Whale Ocean Trading is recruiting creation masters, not creation masters. Whale Ocean Trade is recruiting creation masters, not creation masters. What's the use of asking about this? Hearing that, Zhou Xian twitched the corner of her mouth, revealing an awkward smile. She looked at Lin Yuan apologetically. Even as the owner of a 5-star shop, Zhou Xian's status couldn't be compared to a Class 2 creation master. When they met and talked, Zhou Xian had to address the Class 2 creation master as Lord. Therefore, if the Class 2 creation master wasn't willing to speak, Zhou Xian couldn't force him. Chapter 1465. Lin Yuan stepped forward and said, I happen to be a Class 2 creation master as well. I happen to be a Class 2 creation master too. I would like to understand the Whale Ocean Trade experiment. Upon hearing that Lin Yuan was a Class 2 creation master, the Class 2 creation master with the surname Fei had a flash of surprise in his eyes. Fei, you had never heard of a Class 2 creation master at such a young age. However, in the Radiance Federation, using a creation master's identity to swindle others was a serious crime, and no one dared to do so. Zhou Xian was also at the side, and this youth would not lie to him. Therefore Fei Yu became friendly with Lin Yuan. Although Fei Yu was also a Class 2 creation master, he was still very willing to associate with a Class 2 creation master of Lin Yuan's age. Lin Yuan might become a Class 3 creation master at some point in time, and there was no harm in forming some good karma. Fei Yu quickly explained to Lin Yuan about the Whale Ocean Trade's recruitment of creation masters to participate in the experiment. Brother, if you wish to participate in the Whale Ocean Trade's experiment, you must hurry up and register. If you don't register today, the registration will be closed tomorrow morning. Lin Yuan's expression changed slightly. Brother, do you know what experiment the Whale Ocean Trade is going to conduct? Fei Yu was stumped by Lin Yuan's question. Fei Yu could not tell what experiment the Whale Ocean Trade was going to conduct by recruiting so many creation masters. Normally, when top factions recruited creation masters to conduct Fei experiments, they would require the creation master's star class. However, the Whale Ocean Trade did not have a star class restriction. Be it a Class 4 or a Class 1 creation master, they would all be accepted. Since he did not know, Fei Yu did not answer Lin Yuan's question and changed the topic. Brother, have you heard of the Whale Ocean Trade's ocean sky lineage? Upon hearing that, Lin Yuan frowned. He stared into Fei Yu's eyes and nodded. Fei Yu did not notice the change in Lin Yuan's eyes and continued speaking. I heard that those who perform well in this experiment will have the chance to be accepted by the Ocean Sky Lineage's pinnacle Class 4 creation master as a disciple. This is a good opportunity. It is because of the Whale Ocean Trade's offer that I want to give it a try. Fei Yu sighed as he said this. Otherwise, I can work in Boss Zhou's store and live a comfortable life. Upon hearing Fei Yu's words, Lin Yuan was certain that Whale Ocean Trade had ill intentions. The Sea Sky Lineage's creation masters had already been assassinated by the Myriad Flags lineage and turned into ghosts. How could a dead soul accept a disciple? Just as Lin Yuan was pondering, Fei Yu and Zhou Xian had settled the payment. Fei Yu muttered before leaving. I'm almost in the Radiance 100 sequence, and I'm participating in the Whale Ocean Trade's experiment at this time. I wonder if I can make it in time to watch the Radiance 100 sequence selection. Upon hearing Fei Yu's mutterings, Lin Yuan felt enlightened. Lin Yuan had been thinking that if the Whale Ocean Trade really took the lives of these creation masters, the creation masters wouldn't be able to survive. How could he be so brazen? Now Lin Yuan understood. The Whale Ocean Trading Company revealed that there were 2 immortal beings in their faction. It was also revealed that the faction's young family head had plans to run for the Radiance Envoy position. It was clear that Whale Ocean Trade was trying to stall for time and shake off the Highness's idea. In the end, during this period of time, the Huihai Treaty was unilaterally torn apart by the Sea Race. The Radiance Federation and the Freedom Federation were separated by tens of millions of miles, and they were using sacred source lifeforms to trigger a meteorological phenomenon. In addition, the Radiance 100 sequence selection was imminent, and the envoys of the Azure Federation and the Freedom Federation were dispatched. These 3 matters attracted all the Highness's attention. They had no time to care about the Whale Ocean Trade's actions. In other words, the Whale Ocean Trade was trying to seize this opportunity. It was bringing forward the matter that they had been planning but did not dare to implement. After Fei Yu left, Lin Yuan checked his purchase with No Lost Stores fan club. Lin Yuan found that most of the creation masters in the group were discussing the Whale Ocean Trade. Among the creation masters that belonged to factions, some were tempted. As for the creation masters that did not belong to any faction, almost all of them wanted to give it a try. Among them was Master Duan Li, who had worked for Lin Yuan for 3 months. After solving Zhou Xian's problem, Lin Yuan left Star Web. The first thing he did after leaving Star Web was to ask Wen Yu to investigate this matter. Soon, Wen Yu found the registration method to participate in the Whale Ocean Trade's experiment. Since he was going to register, it was not appropriate for Lin Yuan to wear his current face. Lin Yuan asked Wen Yu to give him a faceless paper. Lin Yuan stuck the faceless paper on his face, and soon his exquisite facial features became ordinary under the effect of the faceless paper. There were 2 ways to register for the Whale Ocean Trade's experiment. You could either register on the Star Web or register offline. The royal capital had a registration point for the Whale Ocean Trade. Lin Yuan headed to the Whale Ocean Trade's registration point in the royal capital in reality. When filling in his name, Lin Yuan thought for a moment. He filled in the name Chu Yuan. After the registration, Lin Yuan was informed by the Whale Ocean Trades staff. 4 days later, gather at the registration point. After chatting with the Whale Ocean Trades staff, Lin Yuan learned that the Whale Ocean Trades' old residence was in the royal capital. Since the Whale Ocean Trades' old residence was in the royal capital, those who registered in the royal capital could report at a later time. At a place far away from the royal capital, when the registration deadline was today, there would be specialized flying fays. There were specialized flying type fays that carried these registered creation masters to the royal capital. Lin Yuan thought to himself. In another 4 days he would be able to find out why the Whale Ocean Trade wanted the creation masters' lives. At night, the night was chilly and the grass and trees were covered in frost. Such weather was truly unusual for the royal capital's March mid-spring season. In a study room filled with books on a completely jade-textured wooden shelf, a dignified middle-aged man was holding a black chess piece and placing it on the chessboard. In an instant he ate more than half of the white chess piece belonging to the man who looked a little like him. Upon seeing the situation, the man holding the white chess piece hurriedly said, "Big brother, I'll repeat my previous move. Big brother, I'll repeat my previous move. I won't play in the 7 horizontal and 9 vertical positions." Upon hearing that, the dignified middle-aged man's hand did not stop picking up the white chess piece. Wanching, there are no regrets when you play. If you don't play in the 7 horizontal and 9 vertical positions, how can you eat my 36 pieces instead? It's a pity that I've seen through your thoughts. With that said, the dignified middle-aged man scattered the chess pieces in his hand on the chessboard. He clearly did not have the mood to continue playing chess. Di Wanqing also fell silent. The Whale Ocean Trade's myriad flags lineage was now playing a dangerous move. This move would last for thousands of years. However, no one in the Whale Ocean Trade could afford to pay the price of losing. The outcome of losing would be that everyone in the Whale Ocean Trade would become the People's Glory Empire's sinners. All of them would perish. After a short silence, Di Wantian and Di Wanqing revealed frenzied expressions. However, the situation would soon change. Once his third sister became a Class 5 creation master, she would definitely have the ability to compete for a position under Her Majesty. When that time came, the Whale Ocean Trading would become Her Majesty's kin. Zhai Hao would also become Her Majesty's heir. Zhai Hao would naturally be qualified to obtain a desolate bloodline fey. During these 2 years, his third sister, a Class 5 creation master, would fully nurture Zhai Hao. Why would Zhai Hao have to worry about not obtaining a position as a Radiance Envoy? When that time came, Zhai Hao would stand at the peak of thousands and enjoy the admiration of thousands. This was the path that Di Wantian had paved for Zhai Hao. Now this path was about to be paved. Di Wantian gave Zhai Hao a few more instructions which made Zhai Hao annoyed. Zhai Hao found an excuse to leave Di Wantian's study room. Di Wanqing could not help but say as he watched Zhai Hao leave. Big brother, Hao-er's sacred source life form might not have any special characteristics, but before Class 6, it has a killing power that other sacred source life forms cannot compare to. Under Third Sister's guidance, even if Hao-er not obtain the first position as a Radiance Envoy, it should not be a problem for him to obtain 4 or 5 positions. Hearing this, Di Wantian nodded in agreement and said, "I cannot see through the Moon Empress disciple and Chief Guard Ye's disciple. The Moon Empress disciple's sacred source life form seems to be immune to elemental attributes, but the sacred source life form in the form of a young girl actually turned into a sword. I do not believe that the Moon Empress has a way to let her disciple contract 2 sacred source life forms at such a young age." Chapter 1467. Right now, Hao-er's strongest attack can barely reach the level of a myth breed, but the full-powered attack of the Moon Empress disciple 2 months ago can already reach the level of myth 3. It also contains a trace of the power of the world. Chief Guard Ye's disciple has summoned a total of 4 insect-type carcinoma phase. Furthermore, each insect-type carcinoma phase strength has reached Diamond X/Legend. Bureau Chief Ye's disciple is a natural disaster in human form. Once he matures, he can destroy the entire continent in an extremely short amount of time. Even if such a person isn't strong in a one-on-one fight, he's invincible in a group battle. In the Radiance Envoys group battle selection, Chief Guard Ye's disciple will definitely obtain 10 points. Bamboo Monarch's disciple chose the win arena and did not participate. However, rumor has it that Bamboo Monarch's disciple's sacred source life form has already reached 4 stars, and it just so happened that it was countered by Chef Supreme's disciple's sacred source life form. As for how far can go, it all depends on third sister's training. Second brother, go and make arrangements to kill everyone in the four-legged beast region apart from the creation masters. Send all the creation masters from the four-legged beast region to third sister and let her handle them. Di Wanqing asked hesitantly after hearing that. Big brother, should we let third sister deal with the creation masters first before we deal with the creation masters in the four-legged beast region? The Du family stands behind the four-legged beast region, a new peak power. Di Wanqing snorted coldly. That's right. If the Du family really wants to stand up for the four-legged beast region and send all of their members to our Whale Ocean Trading Company, do you think our Whale Ocean Trading Company is afraid of the Du family? 10 years ago the Du family couldn't beat us in the battle for the mines. 10 years later, the Du family still can't protect the four-legged beast region. Moreover, I don't wish to hide anything from the creation master recruitment this time. When third sister becomes a class 5 creation master, even if the Hearthstone Du family finds out that my Whale Ocean trade destroyed the four-legged beast region, what will they do? Could it be that the camaraderie between factions gives the Du family the courage to be impudent in front of a class 5 creation master? When Di Wanqing heard Di Wantian's words, he immediately left to deal with the guests that Wu had tricked into coming to the four-legged beast region. After registering, he was preparing to work hard in the Spirit Lock spatial zone at night. As a result, Lin Yuan was stopped by Chimey. Over the past few days, whenever Chimey had been live-streaming on Star Web, there would always be bullet comments saying that Chimey had been maliciously creating hype. The only ones who could push it were the anchors who clashed with Chimey. The human heart was made of flesh and the audience's eyes were bright. This matter was enough to rise to a hot moral issue. Those anchors who tried to use morality to suppress Chimey were destined to suffer moral backlash after the Warm Sun Fund was officially launched. Lin Yuan didn't need to do anything. Those anchors who stirred up emotions would be besieged by Star Web netizens who knew the truth. Lin Yuan took out his cell phone and called Fan Hanxing, Sun Ningxiang, Long Tao and Li Xian. Finally, he would finalize the Warm Sun Fund's matters. It was officially confirmed that the Warm Sun Fund's first stop would be officially launched tomorrow morning. The Warm Sun Fund was just a newly established charity fund. However, it had the plant species phase provided by the Du Immortal Garden, the flying species phase provided by the Dawn Cloud Avian Niche, the dragon species phase provided by the Coiling Dragon Valley, and the insect species phase provided by the Brahma Insect Cage. There were also the offline channels of the 4 top factions. As for beast species phase, amphibious phase and fish species phase, Lin Yuan had yet to find a channel for these phase. He could just use the Warm Sun Fund to buy them on Star Web. Of course, this didn't mean that the phase obtained from the 4 top factions were free. The Du Immortal Garden had now become a subordinate faction of Sky City, so it was another matter. Lin Yuan would purchase the corresponding phase for the Coiling Dragon Valley, the Dawn Cloud Avian Niche, and the Brahma Insect Cage according to the market price. However, the quality of the phase supplied for the Coiling Dragon Valley, the Dawn Cloud Avian Niche, and the Brahma Insect Cage had to be guaranteed. The Warm Sun Fund was Chimey's idea. Even without Chimey's idea, Lin Yuan already had plans to establish a charity fund. Lin Yuan didn't hope that those unfortunate people could become experts through the Warm Sun Fund. Instead, he hoped that those unfortunate people could live a little happier through the Warm Sun Fund. At the very least, they wouldn't have to struggle in misery like before. Instead, they could live a carefree life. However, his wife desperately needed the money to save her life. His son also needed this money to be one step ahead of others at the starting line. If Li Ziqiang contracted this strange illness, he would leave the money for his son to choose a fey. But in the end, looking at the pained expression on his sleeping wife's face, Li Ziqiang steeled his heart and thought to himself, he would go out to borrow some money later. Even if he had to go into debt, he had to cure his wife. As for his son, he would take care of himself. What kind of man would he be if he didn't save his wife when she was sick? At the thought of this, Li Ziqiang quickly got up and went to his elder sister's house in the Xia region to borrow money. After spending 20 radiance dollars, he pulled some strings again. In the evening, Wang Xuemei had returned to normal. Li Ziqiang was afraid that Wang Xuemei wouldn't be willing to treat her if she knew he had to spend 20 radiance dollars. Thus he had been hiding it from Wang Xuemei. When Wang Xuemei found out that Li Ziqiang had spent 20 radiance dollars to treat her, she immediately cried. Wang Xuemei blamed herself and started crying. Big drops of tears rolled down her cheeks. Upon seeing the situation, Li Ziqiang reached out to hug Wang Xuemei and gently patted her shoulder. Although he was comforting Wang Xuemei, Li Ziqiang also revealed a bitter smile. To owe his elder sister's family 3 radiance dollars, Li Ziqiang would have to work hard to earn it for a year and a half. When it came to his son, he could only choose a normal power offense-type insect species Fey with uncertain abilities and exclusive skills. Spirit Chi professionals couldn't change the contract with a Fey. If this power offense-type insect species Fey reached bronze, the awakened exclusive skill would be useless, or it wouldn't be suitable for offense. Even if his son became a Spirit Chi professional, he would only be able to blend into the masses. Just as the husband and wife were walking home in a lonely manner, they saw a lot of people queuing up in front of a building and discussing something. As they were discussing, Li Ziqiang and Wang Xuemei could vaguely hear the words Fei free, and so on. Perhaps he felt that the queue was a little messy, so a Spirit Chi professional walked out of the building and said loudly, "Everyone be quiet. Line up properly. I will count the people in a while. I'll do a head count later. Those who are ranked below 500 can come back tomorrow morning after 7 o'clock. Otherwise, even if we line up until nighttime, we might not be able to get anyone. In addition, everyone has to remember that when choosing a Fey, you have to go to the Xia region's administrative officer to complete the corresponding identity verification procedures. Otherwise, you won't be able to obtain the Warm Sun Foundation's Fey." After hearing the staff member's words, many of the people in the queue expressed their gratitude. They immediately turned around and rushed to the administrative office where the Xia region's administrative officer was located. Many of the people here had heard the news when they were passing by and had joined in. Therefore they didn't know the rules. Only those who had lined up earlier and understood the rules would go through the procedures at the administrative officer's office. There were already plenty of people who had completed the procedures at the administrative officer's office and had their identities verified. They brought their children or themselves into the building to receive a suitable Fey. The Xia region might be a small place, but in the Radiance Federation, every citizen had the right to log into the Star Web. Chimey was a phenomenal host on the Star Web. Among the pedestrians who were singing, at least 3 out of 10 of them were singing the songs that Chimey had sung before. After hearing the words Warm Sun Foundation, many of them immediately took out their mobile phones and recorded a short video. They were prepared to record everything and post it on the Star Web. Things were going so smoothly that they could even go to the administrative officer's office to verify the situation. Firstly, it was due to the massive offline channels that the 4 major factions had. Secondly, it was also because Lin Yuan had informed Elder Ning in advance and Elder Ning had informed Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had immediately given an order to the Xia region's administrative officer. He had asked the Xia region's administrative officer to fully cooperate with the Warm Sun Foundation. The Warm Sun Foundation's first stop in Redbud City's Xia region was an opportunity for Redbud City. Redbud City had a lot of rain throughout the year and there were many mountains and dense forests. There was even a side of the sea that was covered with submerged reefs. It was impossible to construct a dock to berth large fish Feys. It could be said that when compared to other major cities, Redbud City didn't have any advantages. You're tuning in to the Zhou Xian's Legacy YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.